Choice Hotels get you more of what you value. Here's a little tune to help you remember. Same drive, different day. Don't you wish you were getting away? Pack your bags and come on through. Texas, Ohio, Alaska, we're up there too. Comfort Inn, it's calling your name. Save on the stay. Oh, and free waffles are yours to claim. Well, I hope you like my little song. Book direct at choicehotels.com.
This episode is brought to you by Adobe Firefly, the all-in-one creative studio with AI-powered image and video generation. Built for today's creative process, Firefly helps you generate, edit, and experiment fast. Because the asks aren't getting smaller, and the timelines? Woo, yeah, still tight. With all the best creative AI models in one place, Firefly brings your ideas to life. Learn more at adobe.com/firefly.
Hey, girl.
Yeah.
Right now, the way I'm feeling, it's like I'm going crazy.
I'm going crazy too.
This is the plaintiff, Kevin Santiago. He says he's a music producer, and he became involved with the defendant who's a singer. They went on a music conference together in Miami, and he paid for everything. The defendant was supposed to sign a contract with him, but a year's gone by, and she's not acting in good faith. Well, now he's sorry, but he has no other choice but to sue the no-good sneak for $5,000, the amount he's due. This is the defendant, Keonthea Hawkins. She says she and the plaintiff never had a plan, let alone a viable contract. In fact, the contract he wrote up benefited him, not her. She told him if he wanted her to sign something, it would have to be in both their best interests. He refused, so here they are. She's accused of letting the music guy down.
All parties, please raise your right hands.
What you are about to witness is real. The participants are not actors. They are actual litigants with a case pending in civil court. Both parties have agreed to drop their claims and have their cases settled here before Judge Marilyn Milian in our forum, the People's Court.
Be seated. Come to order, please. Litigants have been sworn, Your Honor.
Thank you, Douglas.
You're welcome, ma'am.
Kevin Santiago, you are suing Keonthea Hawkins for $5,000 that you say she owes you in damages as a result of her not signing a contract with you as you'd hoped. Okay, tell me what's going on here.
I met Kiki, she's known, maybe in 2009 in Miami at Winter Music Conference, which is a big music conference for all of the artists and producers and record labels in the house or electronic music genre. And I met her there, and she had given me a CD, and maybe a few months after I got back, I reached out to her and said, hey, listen, I really like your voice. She's a wonderful singer, and, you know, can we work together? Maybe then, or maybe at some other point, she said, you know what, you're the only person that ever reached back out to me from me having distributed these CDs. She said, I have music that I recorded, and maybe you can make your own mix of this music. So she gives me some music that she had done already. And it wasn't particularly suitable for dance music. I tried a little thing, I sent it to her, I said, I like this, but I can't really work with it. Would you like to come into the studio with me and record some original tunes? Right? She said, sure. I went and secured studio time.
Okay. Was there some agreement between the two of you in place at this point on working together?
I'm getting
So the
there.
answer is no, not yet.
Not until she gets to the studio.
Okay, she gets to the studio.
She gets to the studio. Before anything is said or done, I tell her what my terms and how I usually work.
And what were the terms you told her?
I told her that, hey, listen, I might not be able to pay you up front for singing, but I told her I would be happy to split everything and anything that we make from this music 50-50.
Okay. How many clients do you have right now?
How many artists do I work with?
Yeah.
At least a half a dozen.
Is this what you do all day long? Or is this...
And this is the same agreement that I have with every artist that I work with.
Why didn't you just have her sign an agreement then?
We didn't have one written up. We didn't have any music done.
But if you have this with every client, why wouldn't you have one written up right in your drawer?
This was 2 years ago. I've only been doing this type of music and this genre for 3 years. So I was a new entity at the time.
A whole year. So according to you, you tell her we're going to split things 50-50.
Yes.
And she says yes?
She says yes.
And then what happens?
Then we go about the business of recording music.
Okay. And now the 50-50 is just for sales or any payments generated from what you're about to do right there in that room?
Right.
Okay.
From sales, licensing, anything.
Okay. But just the songs you're recording right then. Not if she goes out and she gets a gig, you don't get 50% of it. You're not her manager.
At all.
This is just that project. Okay. So what happens?
So we make the music and it turns out to be good. This was in the winter of 2010. So it's getting to be the time where the music conference is coming up again. And I'm telling Kiki, hey, listen, would you like to be at the music conference? We can really get the music to different labels and see what the interest is. And she says, I can't go. I don't really have the means.
Okay.
Right? I don't have the money to go down to Miami. I said, Kiki, listen, I happened to have come into a little money at that time. And I was able to pay for a ticket. I was able to rent the condo that we stayed in. And we went.
Okay, but before she boards, what's the understanding of who's paying for what?
This was the understanding the entire time was that I did not want any of the money back.
Okay.
Right?
But that you expected 50% of the sales.
Of the sales.
Of any money that was made on this project. But you still don't have her signing a contract.
Still no contract.
Months and months have passed now.
Only 2 months have passed since we have finished product.
Okay, so and now she flies down.
She flies down to Miami.
Nickel,
right.
Stays in the place you rented.
Right.
And then how does that week go?
Week went fine. Everyone loved Kiki. Everyone loved her voice. Everyone loved the music that we made.
Okay.
We come back from Miami, and in Miami, she met and started dealing with an old friend of mine who happens to be an attorney. And we came back from Miami with her understanding that he would represent her. He lived in Miami at the time. Ishmael Muhammad. So
she ends up meeting him, your friend.
She meets him.
Actually, you start dating him, right, or something? Yes or no?
Yes.
Okay. And then what happens?
So we come back to New York, and now it's time. Now I have the time to present her with a contract. I have a need to present her with a contract, right? I present her with an agreement that says what we stated in the studio that day.
All right, now she won't sign it, but is this stuff selling somewhere anyway?
No, it's not.
So,
I'm negotiating with Ishmael for months. Not negotiating, but he's not responding. He's not responding to anything.
I thought he was an old friend of yours.
He's not responding to any emails. He's not responding to any calls.
So what you're suing for then are the expenses that you've incurred, the flight to Miami, the condo rental, recording costs for 3 songs. $1,435. Those are your fees, you mean?
Yes.
Okay, and $4,250 total estimated value of song remixes.
Right. Now,
what's that?
I paid cash to a couple of remixers that are very notable, and I took their fee and divided it in half for the rest of the remixers that might not be so well known.
Okay, Ms. Hawkins, let me hear your response to this stuff. According to him, you guys had an agreement in place that was verbal, that you'd split 50-50, and then all of a sudden, when you got too big for your britches, you wouldn't sit down and negotiate. What's going on?
Okay, that is not completely correct. When I first approached Mr. Santiago, I did meet him at the WMC in 2010. At that time, I gave him a copy of my song, Twirl, which I had been distributing to a number of different people networking and stuff.
Is that why it's here? Oh, can I hear it? Can I hear just a little bit of it?
Actually, this isn't the song. This is his CD, which has the 3 songs on it
that are in question.
Remixed. Yes. But the song, how I initially met Mr. Santiago was I approached him in regards.
Do you have yours that's not?
No,
altered?
I do not. No,
okay.
I do not. I didn't.
Let me just hear that.
Okay.
I just want to hear you. I want to hear your pipes.
It would be on this second CD, and you can choose either of the songs that says featured Kiki Hawkins. So after he gave me the first song, we went in, we recorded.
Okay, before you record, according to him, you have an agreement that it's going to be 50-50.
The only agreement that I was aware of was that we would do 50-50 on the copyright claimant and the publishing. In regards to
How's that different from what his testimony is?
I don't know, I'm just wording it the way.
No.
Okay.
I feel like he's saying that we would be 50-50 in partnership, so we would be splitting the expenses, we would be making...
No, he's not saying that. He's saying
so I
that
just want to be clear.
the agreement in the room was 50-50 from anything made on this collaboration.
Yes.
All right, but now there's no written contract signed.
No written contract.
Hey, girl.
Yeah.
Right now, the way I'm feeling, it's like I'm going crazy.
I'm going crazy too.
For who?
For you.
Don't play with me like that, girl.
With your brown cocoa skin.
I got it.
You didn't even get to the
You didn't get to hear her sing, but...
Okay. I got it. All right. So, at the time when he presents you with a contract,
Yes.
you read it. Now you're dating his old friend, who's I guess friendlier with you than with him at this point. And I guess he gives you the advice this is not a good idea for you.
Casual dating, and yes, he did state...
Why? Does he say what he found objectionable? Or can you tell me what you found objectionable?
Well, the first thing that I found objectionable, if you look at the collaboration agreement, it states on there, number 4, that this CD is for promotional use for the WMC 2011 to be sold. Excuse me, but if it's sold, if there are copies left over from the WMC, then the revenue from that portion will be allocated for future recordings by Cruz and Hawkins and present for future promotional tools to be agreed upon by Cruz and Hawkins.
Who's Cruz?
That's my pen name is Kev Cruz.
Okay.
Exactly.
Okay.
So
Let me see the contract that he wanted to do.
Absolutely.
Do you have any evidence that the CDs that you made with him have been sold? Or that the music is playing somewhere, or that there's profit being made?
Actually, I just saw last night posted on Facebook by Femi Natural Essence. I assume that is the producer from the UK that wanted to initially take one of the songs and do something with it. He posted stating that he was proud to say that the project is now, the EP is now released. And
what's an EP?
Electronic press kit, normally, or like a demo.
That's not what it is at all.
Hold on. What's an EP?
Welcome back to the People's Court. Harvey Levin here. So, is she on the hook for the cost of paying him back for the conference in Miami?
No.
Why?
Because nothing was in writing.
Fair enough. But they did not kind of have a Lucy kind of sort of deal.
Lucy doesn't count. It's in writing.
What do you think?
Well, I think that he promised her that he was going to take her down, but
he took her down.
Yeah, it's not in writing. It don't fly.
I think that's you mean tough luck, right?
Tough luck.
That's the legal term, going inside the courtroom.
An EP is a short form album.
What was it she saw?
She saw that a label from the UK is set to release one of the songs that she and I did.
Okay.
Right.
And did you not know that until now?
No, I did not have that information. They just posted that
here's
yesterday.
the thing, guys. My life is really simple. Yours is way more complicated. I have before me an effort by Mr. Santiago to make you pay for the condo and the flight that he agrees you were never supposed to pay for. Because he's angry that you won't sign something that he agrees he never got you to sign.
Right.
Okay? I have absolutely no problem with you deciding, hey, there's a lot of other stuff here we didn't make details of, and I don't really like how that reads, and you have the perfect right. It's shame on you if you didn't have the savvy, because you were new at it, to get her on paper beforehand. But she's not, she's not forced to sign a future contract you haven't come up with. If she doesn't like it, she doesn't like it. But now, you guys have a verbal contract that, according to the testimony that just came out in this courtroom, you both agree that you have that verbal contract to split any money that's made 50-50. But all these other things weren't agreed to. So you don't have to sign this contract. You certainly don't have to pay for stuff you were never supposed to pay for, like the recording costs and all this other stuff, all right? But you have a right, because she's already testified she did agree to it, to make 50% of her, but you also have an obligation to pay her 50% of the price.
Sure.
So all this stuff is in the future. It's prospective. You understand? Because you're telling me that no money has been made.
No.
You're testifying under oath that zero money has been made.
Zero money.
Well, I'm telling you that when it is, you got to split it with her 50-50.
I'm under the full understanding of that.
But my question to you is, why now do you want this because it lets you do what that you can't already do on the verbal contract? It's just cleaner.
Something like that, but at the same time, there were times when I asked her, please, can we sit down and do this? Can we read it over? Have you read it?
All right, but I'm not a therapist. Okay, I'm a judge.
Right.
And so the only thing I have to rule on is what's in front of me. Here's what's in front of me, okay? I cannot make somebody sign a contract that you did not make them sign.
Okay.
1. 2, I cannot create a contract where there was none in telling her, well, now you have to, because you won't sign that contract that you're supposed to sign, which I find she's not supposed to sign it, right? You must now pay expenses from 2 years ago. I'm not going to do that either, because that would only flow from some obligation to pay it, because she agreed to pay it, which she didn't. Everybody agrees that she didn't agree to pay it. Or she did something wrong, so those should be your damages, which I find she didn't do something wrong, because she's not forced to sign this contract. So she's not paying you squat. Now, as advice...
Hold on.
You hold on.
I never got to the point of why I feel like she did something wrong, Your Honor.
Listen. You can only collect money from her if she did something wrong. That's how it works in a court of law. She has to have breached a legal obligation, which then damages that happen to you flow from her breach. She did nothing wrong. There is no breach. The refusal to sit down and work with you is not a breach. You do not have to pay him anything. But you guys have a verbal, based on what I've heard in my courtroom, she agrees that you guys agreed that it would be 50-50 on the proceeds. If anything, what that does is that obligates you, if you sell this stuff, to pay her 50% of your proceeds. If you don't, if you find out that he sold it and pocketed it, okay, then that's a lawsuit for you for a future day in front of a different judge. My business is concluded. Good luck, folks.
Thank you.
And so here's the plaintiff coming out of the courtroom right here. What's your first thought about the outcome on this case here?
I would have liked to have been able to really explain better what I feel like the damages were to me, or are to me.
Well, did you learn what kind of a contract you really actually have at the moment from this ruling?
I knew that already, which is why the music is going to be available for sale. But it's a watered-down product. She's not around or participating in promoting it or like making a music video, for instance. You know, she's not around, so it's less of a product because of it.
What about that old friend of yours who got in the middle of the lawyer? Did he muck this thing up? You mad at him?
Pretty much.
Yeah.
He could have done his job.
Some friend.
Yeah.
All right, right down this way. All right, come on in here. And here's the artist. Did you get too big for him? What happened?
Basically, Mr. Santiago didn't present me with the proper paperwork, and I put the cart before the horse. I won't do that anymore.
All right.
I won't sing before I sign any contracts.
Okay, great. How is the career going?
It's going well. It could be better, definitely.
What's
Check out
happening?
the Kiki Experience.
Whoa.
Alternative rock, funk, soul.
Okay, that's what we'll do. All right, Harvey?
Okay, I mean, this is really simple. Do not, let me repeat it, do not ever front money to somebody on the hopes that you're going to make a deal with them. Don't do it until you have the deal. And that will do it for this case. Litigants for the next case on the way into the courtroom right now.
This episode is brought to you by Workday. Guessing is for game shows, not your business, especially when your margin for error is 0. Workday is the enterprise AI platform for HR, finance, and IT, with a deep understanding of your organization's context and guardrails. So every AI action is permission aware, giving you accuracy 24/7 and the ability to not just get work done, but get it done right. It's a new Workday.
This episode is supported by FX's The Shards, a seductive drama from executive producer Ryan Murphy. Set in 1980s Los Angeles, the series follows a group of glamorous, deeply entangled high school seniors drawn into a life of wealth, beauty, parties, and excess. At its center is Brett, whose reality begins to unravel when the arrival of a new student coincides with a series of mysterious murders. FX's The Shards premieres August 5th on FX and Hulu.
This is the plaintiff, Martin Faraday. He says he was attacked by the defendant's two vicious dogs, and it took 5 cop cars and taser guns to finally stop the dogs and bring them under control. The defendant's refusing to compensate him for his medical expenses and pain and suffering, so he's suing the louse for the $1,600 he's owed. This is the defendant, Michael Blackney. He says he doesn't feel responsible because someone opened his gate, probably to rob him, and then left it open when they fled. He keeps his dogs fenced in, had no knowledge of anyone leaving the gate open, and doesn't owe anyone a thing. He's accused of harboring vicious beasts.
All parties, please raise your right hands.
Thank you, Douglas.
You're welcome, ma'am.
Martin Faraday?
Yes.
You are suing Michael Blakeney for $1,600 in medical bills and pain and suffering because, according to you, he negligently allowed his pit bulls to roam free and bite you. Tell me what happened.
I was on my way home from work, and I decided to stop for a bottle of water. So I parked my truck, get out, and as I'm going to the market, I'm confronted by 2 pit bulls that appeared from out behind hedges in front of this private house. At that point, I looked at the dogs and continued to walk, and that's when the one brown dog basically came at my leg, ripped open my dungarees, and at that point, I started to defend myself by punching and kicking at the dog, and there was 2 of them, so I just backtracked.
Is there anybody else around?
There was nobody else around.
Was it nighttime or daytime?
Daytime.
My goodness, go on.
And so then I backed my way onto a vehicle that was nearby, an SUV, and I was able to jump on top of that. And at that point, I called 911.
You had your phone with you?
I did.
That's good.
And so I just waited on top of the car until the cops came. And at that point, they came, guns drawn, and they approached the dogs. One ran away, one stayed there, and he backed off a little bit.
One ran away, one stayed. I mean, because the dogs don't know it's a gun. I mean, so that's
well, the older one did.
But one stayed there and what? And one of those officers grabbed it by the collar?
No, the officer held a gun to the dog's face.
But the dog doesn't know what a gun is. Like, so I'm astounded. So
the dog did respect it because he didn't approach the cop. He didn't lunge after the cop.
But where did that end? Where was the natural progression of that? How did would they call animal control?
The dog backed off, and at that point, they went to get tasers, and they got the taser out, and they were able to tase that one dog, and the other dog gave them a little bit of a problem, but eventually they tased the second one also.
Okay. So now both dogs are tased, and what did the officers do with the dogs? How did they find the owner and everything
Animal
else?
control came,
okay.
And at that time, I guess the neighbors did come out. And they
knew who the dogs belonged to?
They did, yes.
Did they mention that the dogs had gotten out previously?
The older dog seemed to have gotten out more so than the younger dog.
How do you know that?
According to one of the neighbors.
What happened? Where were you, by the way?
I wasn't home that day. That morning, I had to take care of some business, some important business. It was October 11th, 2011. It was nice outside that morning, so I know I had to go and take care of some business. So I said to myself, let me leave them outside in the yard. I had my yard was well secured when the dogs.
Let's see how well secured your yard was. Do you have pictures?
Yes.
Because I got to tell you, apparently not. Right? How'd that work out for you, the security that you have there, which is essentially a grocery crate with some pots in it. What is that?
No, that's not pots. Those are weights.
Weights?
Yes.
Weights. Weights. They just happen to be terracotta colored, so they threw me off. Okay. So they're weights because you figure if you do that, then what? The dogs can't jump and open the door?
No, they can't. They can't get out.
Well, how'd they get out?
Somebody had to let them out. Somebody was trying to steal my dog.
Oh, you think? Somebody's trying to go into your yard and steal 2 pit bulls?
No, he's trying to take one of them. That's the brown dog.
Why?
Because she's a pit bull.
So's the other one.
The other one's a pit bull and Rottweiler mix. They don't want him. He's a male.
Your dogs are big.
No, actually, the brown dog, she's small.
She doesn't look that small.
She's small.
I'm looking at her next to a door and a cooler. I can see the relative sizes.
She's smaller than the black one.
Have your dogs gotten out before?
No, they haven't.
Why do the neighbors say they have? The neighbors are lying? Maybe those are the thieves?
My neighbors never said my dogs got out.
Why wouldn't you put a lock on that gate? If you put a lock on it, everything would be fine.
I have a chain on there on the bottom.
Yeah. What happened to the chain on there on the bottom?
No, the chain is on the bottom.
Exactly. When did that chain get on the bottom?
The chain's been on the bottom.
Well, then how did your dogs get out?
Somebody had to go in my backyard.
How did they get into your backyard with the chain? How did the dogs get out, sir?
That's what I'm trying to explain to you.
You're not doing a good job.
You buying his story that somebody came into his yard?
I think it's ridiculous.
Okay, that's kind. Are you buying that story?
No, I'm not buying it because I think the owner has a little responsibility here.
How about a lot of responsibility? Do you believe somebody came into his yard or he just left the gate open?
I just think he left the gate open.
In other words, he let the dogs out, right? Right? Going inside the courtroom.
Somebody it had to be more than two people.
And do what, sweetheart? Cut the chain with a bolt cutter?
No.
Okay, where was the chain that day?
The chain was on the top of the gate.
Where, then had they opened the
Like once
gate?
you walk in the backyard, you can see it.
Listen to me.
Yes.
How did the door open enough to get the dogs out of the door?
Okay, where I live at, let me start from here. Where I live at, I live in a private house, two-family house.
I just need you to answer the question I'm asking. It's a simple question. How did the gate door get open for the dogs to escape?
Whoever came in the backyard, they had to open it.
That's right. So how did they get through a chain that supposedly keeps it so secure?
Evidently, they cut it.
Good. Then show me a picture of a cut chain, evidently.
I didn't have no picture of that.
Why do I not just find you to be a complete and total liar since you seem to be making it up as you go along? Well, evidently, they cut it. That's the first you've ever said such a thing. But now you realize that with someone cross-examining you, you can't just say whatever you want without it being a little tougher, unless it's true. It gets tougher when you make it up as you go along. You get caught in the lie, like you just did. If it had been cut, we would have heard about that. We would see a photo of it. You would have said something about that to the police or to animal control. Now, when animal control says to you, show me the dog's rabies shots, like all responsible dog owners must legally possess, what did you say to them?
Well, when I got to my house, once my neighbor had called me and explained to me what was going on, I came straight home. When I got there, the only one that was there was the officer that gave me the summons to appear in court.
What happened with that?
When I went to court, the officer asked me did I have the paperwork. I said the paperwork was in the house. I never had got a chance to go inside.
What happened to you with the summons that they gave you?
One, I pled guilty to one charge. I pled guilty to I pled not guilty to two of them. They was dismissed. Two was dismissed, and I had to pay a fine for one.
How much did you pay?
$25.
This is why this keeps happening. Because that's how we deal with see, it's not the dogs, it's the owners of the dogs. The dogs are animals. They're doing what comes naturally to them. But when someone puts them in a backyard and thinks that this is adequately securing them, and then lies about whether or not they had a chain, and then can't find the rabies, because of course now you ended up having to go to the emergency room and get how many rabies shots?
4 series.
4 series. You had to go back how many times to the hospital to get your shots?
4 times.
4 different times. Okay? And what happens when not one, but 2 pit bulls are roaming the neighborhood, terrorizing the victim? What happens to the dog owner? He gets a $25 charge. That's a parking fee. That's less than a parking fee in New York. That's just unbelievable to me. Unbelievable. You make it worth people's while not to be responsible. You have, let me see your medical bills, please. Do you even feel a little bit bad?
Yes.
$25,000 worth.
How's it $25,000? How does the hospital get away with that? That's another crime. That's a totally separate and distinct crime.
I called them up.
For 4 rabies shots, $25,000.
They said they wouldn't get paid unless it was on the up and up.
No,
and
that's not
paid.
true. There's no way that an insurance. I assume you have insurance.
Yeah.
So what you're suing for is your deductible? You're out of pocket?
Yes.
Yeah. And they charge you $150 each time you went?
Correct.
Okay. You're asking for $1,000 for pain and suffering. Explain what it is that happened to you.
Well, just the annoyance that basically you're getting injected all these fluids into your body. It's over a 4-week period. Every time you go to the emergency room, you're there anywhere from 2 to 4 hours because they have to send out these pharmacies.
I've heard enough. I've heard enough. I find in your favor in the amount of $1,600 verdict for the plaintiff. Be careful about those dogs.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Well, it didn't go too well for the defendant because why? Because you didn't have any defense.
Well, you know, it is what it is.
It is what it is. No pic. Why didn't you take pictures of the cut chain or bring evidence?
That was my mistake. That was my mistake.
And then you had lax security, and then you didn't have the paperwork for the dog. So what's the defense?
I had the paperwork for the dog.
You didn't have it in time.
No, during the time the officer asked me for it, it was in the house. I never got a chance to go in the house.
Did you ever have a chance to apologize to the plaintiff?
I never met the defendant. The plaintiff.
Would you like to? Would you like to say anything to him? Because he's right there. You could say, if you want to finish this. Oh,
I apologize. You know.
All right. Okay. Right down this way.
Thanks, guy.
All right. So come on in here. Did that make it feel any better right there? That apology?
It's annoying that they don't have the paperwork. You have 2 pit bulls. You should have the rabies shots. They didn't know where the rabies shots were given. So I think.
What was that moment like when you were being attacked by pit bulls?
Well, I'm not scared of dogs, but when the one ripped my pants, then I knew I could have a problem, and I just made sure I stayed on my feet and just backed up until I was safe.
Over to Harvey.
I will say this. If the gate was properly secured and somebody really did come in and he had some proof that somebody came in, that might be a defense. Not the case here. That will do it for this case. Litigants for the next case on the way into the courtroom right now.
This episode is brought to you by Netflix. The MLB at Field of Dreams returns. Bryce Harper and the Philadelphia Phillies face Byron Buxton and the Minnesota Twins at the iconic Field of Dreams ballpark. The field is calling. Watch the MLB at Field of Dreams game live on Netflix Thursday, August 13th at 7:30 p.m. Eastern, 4:30 p.m. Pacific.
This is the plaintiff, Kristen Kroll. She says the defendant, her neighbor, at 2 a.m. on Christmas Eve crashed his van into her garage door, damaging it something awful. He did the neighborly thing and left a note claiming responsibility, but 6 months later hasn't fixed it or given her the money to fix it. She doesn't want to turn this into the Hatfields versus the McCoys, but she wants her $496, and that's just what she's suing for today. This is the defendant, Joseph Caldara. He says he was tired and had a lot of things on his mind and forgot to put his van in park, and it rolled into the plaintiff's garage. He's a handyman who came from Sicily when he was 12 years old with a hammer in his hand, and he told her he'd fix it good as new. But then he got a nasty letter from the lawyer demanding all his money. Bottom line, he's ready, willing, and able to fix the door and is just asking for a chance. He's accused of being a negligent neighbor.
All parties, please raise your right hands.
You're welcome. Kristen Kroll?
Yes.
You are suing your neighbor, Joseph Caldara, for $496, the amount to repair a garage door that, according to you, he destroyed, correct? Yes. What happened?
Well, sometime in the night of, I guess, the morning of December 24th, Christmas Eve, he hit my garage door. He left me a note.
Merry Christmas.
Right.
Okay.
He left me a note under my door, so I found it that morning explaining.
Where do you two live in relation to each other?
He lives above me. We live in a condo building.
Okay.
And then there's a row of garages behind the building, which is where my garage was. So he left me a letter under my door.
What was he doing parking at? Is his parking space next to your garage? I don't get it.
No, he does not have a garage.
Okay.
He just parks in the regular parking spaces. He hit my garage door.
Because the regular parking spaces are next to the garage door?
No.
Oh, okay. How did he end up hitting your garage door? Do you know?
That he would have to probably explain that to you.
So go ahead. He left you a note saying?
Saying that he had hit my garage door and that he'd take responsibility for it, to call him the next day, you know, being a very nice neighbor, explaining himself, taking responsibility. So I appreciated that. So I called him the next day, and he explained to me what happened. And
what did he say?
He said that he had fallen. He didn't put the car in park, and it hit my garage door, and that he was very tired. and apologized and whatnot. But so.
Were you hitting the eggnog or late on gifts? Which was it that
Your
had you
Honor,
stressed?
Million, I'll be honest with you, I felt a little bit embarrassed about the situation.
How did you end up hitting the door?
What happened is that I got home like 1:45 in the morning. By the way, she was very kind about it. She's very kind about me letting me use her garage anytime I wasn't there. Anytime she would not park, I was welcome to park in her garage. And our parking space.
Were you going to use her garage that night?
Yes, because I had the permission from Miss Call for the last 2 years.
Are you looking at her face?
Well, she knows that. I hope she's not telling a lie.
There was several times, maybe 3 years ago, that he had asked me to use the garage. I went on vacation one time in January. It was a snowstorm. I said, you can go ahead and use it. That's fine. There were periodical other times that he'd asked me that. But as far as if you've been using it recently, I've had no knowledge of it.
Did she ever give you permission to hit it?
No.
Okay, so it doesn't really matter that much. Don't get too hung up on
of course
this.
not, Your Honor. But
so go ahead. So what happened that night?
But what's happening is this, Miss Call. I welcomed her to our neighborhood. That's how we became buddies mostly. She knows that.
Welcomed her to the neighborhood.
But what happened is that I came home. I didn't see her car for 3 or 4 days or more. Okay, and I started worrying a little bit. She's my neighbor, a little bit. I even called her the next couple of days, and she said, "Thank you for the call," because I was wondering. So it was kind of cold. Since she doesn't park there as much, I felt like, I wonder if her car is there. A lot of things into my mind. I was very tired, I'll be honest with you, Your Honor, and I only had 3-4 hours of sleep. No, not even.
Were you at a party?
No, not even that. No. If I have a beer once every 2-3 days, it's not enough.
Okay, so it's 1:45 in the morning.
Right?
It's not enough. Yeah,
I'm just joking. I said that just to
that
make
was
you
a little
laugh.
slip, huh?
I just said to make you laugh.
So 1:45 in the morning, and what happened?
So anyway, I approached the garage door within 4 to 5 feet away, and be honest, I forgot to put the van on park. So it was a neutral and the door was open. So I walked out and I went to use the code to open the garage door, the code, which I gave it to her when she moved. She didn't even know the code number. After 2 months, I even gave her the code.
So you were actually putting your car into her garage?
So as soon
Did
as
you know the story?
as I started, Your Honor, as I started to push the numbers, all of a sudden I heard, boom, the car and it was too late. Real quick, I jumped in the van. By that time, I pushed the brakes, but I already had damaged the door.
Okay.
Right there. And thank God that the door still works up to now. Okay, I pressed the numbers.
Do you have a picture of it?
Yeah, it was working. It's up and down. Yes, it goes up.
And thankfully it works because my car was in it at the time. So if it didn't work,
Your car was in it?
Yeah. And I was just taking a guess, because she actually told me out of her own kindness.
Look, girl, change your code.
Perhaps she didn't know, or maybe we didn't know they could have been done, but nevertheless, Miss Cole, she actually told me, Joe, you're welcome to park the car anytime you see my car outside, out of her own kindness. She actually told me that many times, more than once.
Oui.
And I appreciate it.
Okay, so I know you appreciate it, and you're welcome to the neighborhood, but why haven't you fixed her garage door? This happened on Christmas Eve.
One time I said to her, and things weren't going well that month. Okay, business was down and a little slow. I didn't have much funds.
What do you do for a living?
I'm a traveling salesman, sportswear, and my friend does silk screen printing, and I help him out. So what happened is that as months went by and days went by, but I told her that I would fix it, right?
You said you would
fix it. That's fabulous, but why didn't you fix it?
It just never happened.
How are you going to fix it?
Well, here's the story. Then I offer, as months went forward, I said to her, I says, listen, I says, Kristen, I said, would you give me the opportunity, I says, to try to fix it 75, 85%? I could probably do it myself. Or with her boyfriend now that he's back. His boyfriend is living there now. I even asked her again one more time. She says, no. She says, I want my door replaced, the whole door. I called the maintenance man that works around the condos there, and his estimate was going to be $335 over the phone. And he didn't even mail it to me for one reason or another.
All right, so did you ever say to him, yes, you could fix it yourself, or no?
No.
Okay, so you told him, I don't want you fixing it.
I said
according to you, you're a handyman,
Also, Your Honor.
Are you a handyman?
Yeah, I could be. I'm a pretty good handyman. Also, I offer $50.
You came from Sicily with a hammer in your hands, is how you
Your Honor, it's not the case. I even offered $50 not too long ago. I was willing to make restitution little by little. And she says, no, she says, I talked to my brother.
You hit it all
brother's
at
an
once,
attorney.
pay it all at once.
But I even try my best. And
do you have an off button?
They call me a liar to her brother.
Do you have an off button?
Do I have what, excuse me?
Press the off button on you.
So does she have a duty to let him try and fix it in the first place?
No, I think that she can get her own bids. She doesn't have no obligation.
But does she have to give him a shot at fixing it first?
It would be nice if she did and gave him a chance to try to fix what he did wrong.
Why? He's an amateur handyman.
That's why he's a handyman. Come on now. He's gonna make some dollars. Yeah, definitely. Give him a chance.
Wow. You would not.
I will.
You would not. Going inside the courtroom.
All right, so you tell him, no, I don't want you fixing it yourself, and then what do you tell him? You get an estimate, and you tell him this is what you have to pay.
Well, then he said, well, we could have, how would you feel if I replaced 2 of the panels and I hammered out the 3rd one myself? And I said, no, I'm still not comfortable with that. I want everything you repaired to be new.
Everything you damaged
And then
to
he
be
said,
repaired.
well, how about this? I'll have them replace 2. I'll hammer the other one out. And if you don't like that, I'll have them then replace the 3rd one for you. And, so either way, if I said I didn't like it.
And then he went out and got an estimate because he says he got an estimate for 3 something.
Fine.
And then what happened?
Then-
it's a little bit like my house on the weekends. The honey-do list at my house, honey do this, honey do that. And then I tell my husband, okay, it's the weekend, you're gonna fix this now. And he looks me right in the eye and says, in many ways, you and I are very different. Honest to God, this is what he says. I'm like the gentle manatee, getting there eventually. You're like a shark, always in motion. Relax, we're on break. This is a union shop. I'm having a cup of coffee. These are the things he says to me on the weekend. She gave you all these months to get it done, and you didn't get it done. How much more patient do you want her to be?
Well, I had other priorities prior to this, and I was hoping...
Who's not being a good neighbor?
I was hoping you wanted... I didn't have enough funds. Otherwise, Kristen, she knows very well that I would have taken care of it, but...
Okay, listen, Mr.
I didn't need
Kildare,
to be
she
called a
cannot
liar.
deposit your I would have taken care of it.
But
She can only deposit money. So you have to either take care of it, or, all these months you could have been putting that $50, $20, whatever, and then before going to court, before she lost her patience, you would say, here's $300, here's $400. You could have tried something. You had an estimate for 3 something. You should just taken care of it. You didn't. Now we're going to go by her estimate, which is eminently reasonable, $496. Verdict for the plaintiff.
And so the judge has ruled for the plaintiff here. This is the defendant. What happened?
What happened is what everyone heard about. What happened is that I damaged my neighbor's door, and things happen in life, So
yeah,
and that's it.
How was it that it got all the way into court? Why didn't you go over there, fix the door, do whatever?
I didn't think it was going to come here, but nevertheless, I'd like to say something. I appreciate everyone that is involved there that made this happen possible, and we both are winners. Every end has its beginning, and every beginning has its end. We all have to, be aware of things, And I was hoping they would have been on my side. The judge did not rule it on my favor. So, and life goes on. I would have bought maybe some extra cookies and have a party with my friends.
Okay, good. All right, right down this way. All right, I'll have some McIntosh over there. All right, so there he is. There he goes. What's it like being his neighbor?
It's interesting.
Yeah?
Yeah, never a dull moment. I'm just glad this is all over, and hopefully that's the end of anything. So.
Well, don't you think he had your best interest in mind if you maybe given him a chance? He says you didn't give him a chance.
I gave him 6 months. I think that's more than a chance.
Oh, come on, give the guy a chance.
Oh, okay. You give him a chance.
All right. Harvey?
I gotta tell you something. Even if this guy were a professional handyman, the best handyman in the world, she doesn't have an obligation to use him to fix the garage door. She can go out and get a reasonable estimate, and he's gonna have to pay no matter how good he is, no matter how well he could have fixed that garage door.
Hey, it's Ryan Reynolds here from Mint Mobile. Now, I was looking for fun ways to tell you that Mint's offer of unlimited premium wireless for $15 a month is back. So I thought it would be fun if we made $15 bills. But it turns out that's very illegal. So there goes my big idea for the commercial. Give it a try at mintmobile.com/switch.
Upfront payment of $45 for 3 months, $90 for 6 months, or $180 for 12-month plan required. $15 per month equivalent. Taxes and fees extra. Initial plan term only. Greater than 50 gigabytes may slow when network is busy. See terms.